Hey YouTube, this is Michael with Uncoded Lifestyle, and today we're going to make a video today about how to render props. In React, there's a term render props, which uses a technique for sharing code between React components using a prop whose value is a function. So basically, normally you would pass down props, via the props to another component and share it down however far you need to share it. But here we can create a component that if you surround another component, or you can call another component in its render property and be able to share the data that's coming from that component. So I'm gonna show you in the video how to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a function that I'm going to create, which is going to change the font of a number. So you're going to be able to increase the font and decrease the font. So say for instance, if you wanted to be able to share this behavior with other components, you'll be able to call it, set this function and call another function in the render property, and then that component that's in that render property can be able to take those values and that behavior and be able to use it. So you'll be able to share that with any component that you would like. So let's go ahead and begin. I got a function I'm gonna go ahead and paste in here since I typed so slow. So as you can see, I called it change font. We're using one of the React hooks, which is use state, and instead of doing props there, I'm just going to set that to 12. And then we also we're returning, we're using fragments here, and we're returning the render props here. And what we're going to pass into this render props is the size. Alright, so we're going to start off slow. We're just going to get the size to display inside the app component. Alright, so we come here, call the change font component, and then we're going to go ahead and put in the render property. Like I said, this render property is going to return a function. Then what I'll do is I'm going to put some divs, put a p tag in here, and remember we passed in the size, so all I gotta do is just get the size variable that we passed in, and then I'm gonna put it right between the p tags. Alright, and as you can see, the size number 12 popped up. Alright, so if we want to too, we can also, like I said, how I had in the beginning, we can set this right here, props dot, let's just call it font. Alright, and then we'll come to the p tag here. No, matter of fact, right here, and we'll say, call it font, and it's equal to whatever size is. Matter of fact, we put the 12 there actually. So there we go. So we made a property called font, and we gave it a value of size, and then in here in the use state, we're just gonna use that property, so you can have more customization to any component. Anytime you call this component, you can just set the size to whatever you want to set it to. Alright, so let's add some behavior that we would like to share. Alright, so come here. I got two functions already ready. One is going to increase, one is going to decrease the size. And as you can see here, I'm using the set size to change the size variable, adding 1 or subtracting 1 from the size variable. And now we gotta do is go to the render property here and put in those behaviors, decrease font and increase font. And then we can just come down here and pass them in as well. Increase font and decrease font. And now what I want to do now is add some buttons. I'm going to add some buttons that's going to be able to take that and add and subtract. Put these around here. Going off a little bit. Alright, so after P tags, put in the buttons. Alright, so you can see got the on-click listeners on both of the buttons, and I'm passing the increase font and the decrease font behaviors into the buttons. Alright, so we can go here and increase it and decrease it. And also, if you wanted to, you know, if I wanted to make this, like say for instance, let's just say you had a settings that you want to be able to increase the size of the font and decrease the size of the font. I mean, you can use something like this. If you had that settings in multiple areas, you could just use this component to be able to call and wrap it around with whichever component that you wanted to have that behavior. So just to show you that we don't have to use the word render, we can use anything else. I'm gonna say, let's see, I'm gonna call it duck. Just to show you that this still works, you can name it whatever you want. Alright, and also we're gonna name it another way, which is called children. Now with this way, we'll be able to add both tags to where whichever component that you put in, and it'll make the code more cleaner too. So let's do that. Children, and then we're gonna come here and we're gonna actually get rid of all of this. Oh no, let's see. Yeah, all of this. Keep that font size. Let's see. Cool. Alright. So there we go. We can go ahead and basically just put in the same thing that we just had here. I'm gonna go and grab that now. Put that right here. Boom. So now it's the same thing that we just had. We got we're pulling in the size, increase font, decrease font. Got the P tag, the two buttons with the increase and decrease behavior, and also we're styling this P tag to be able to take the font size and take the size that's being passed in. So if I click the increase button, you'll see the P tag, an increase in font size, and it also show you right here the size, and we can also decrease it. Alright, so I hope that made it clear for anybody who, you know, is trying to understand what render props, you know, how to use render props. You got popular libraries like Formic and React Router that use it. So again, I hope you like that video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe. I'm gonna start releasing more content because what I'm trying to do is help myself retain what I learn by trying to see if I can teach others. And you know, basically when I do these videos, I'm sort of talking to myself and, you know, talk to anybody who also need help as well with trying to understand, you know, whatever subject that the video is about. Alright, so thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.